17 is Richie Tobias, former Syracuse winner, son of the legend Toby Tobias, who was killed at Flemington Speedway. The FX1 is jumping Jack Johnson, a living legend. He's driving a new big block car this year. Of course, the number 3 Budweiser car is Brett Hearn, 5-time Syracuse champion, co-dirt champion this year.
Clements, you need to go to your radio, please. Al Clements to your radio, please. Al Clements to your radio, please. Al Clements, we need you to pick up your radio, please. Al Clements, pick up your radio, please. Al Clements, pick up your radio, please.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test. Testing.
Only 4 will make it out of each heat event and advance to the A main. The rest of them will have to run the consolation events. And boy, that's a tough way to go. And we're just about ready to get underway.
Here we go now. Off the turn 3, looking for the green flag. It's time by. And here we come. Race time for the modified. Off to the inside of 1, it's the Wheelman. John Wheeler out of Campbellsville, Kentucky. Down the back to Hewitt with a handful of the 99 car. 2 and 3 wide into 3. Off to the inside of 3 now. John Wheeler. Off of 4, the leader. Wheeler down the front chute. Jack Hewitt, the 99 car. Rich Stye running out third spot. Lee Hoff dropped to the inside. They race off to the inside of 1 now down the back chute. It's John Wheeler by about a half a straightaway. Doing a giddy up right now, the 02 car. Jack Hewitt hanging on to the second spot. Stye running third, fourth right now. Haas Mitchell on the run, and here they come. John Wheeler out of Campbellsville, Kentucky. Wheeler rockets down a back chute. Lynn, look at that 0 car run tonight. The Wheelman on the move.
He's living up to his name, of course, the Wheelman, John Wheeler in the 02. Here he is on the front chute.
Jack Hewitt in a solid second. The Thrill from Cedar Hill running third, and we got the yellow flag up there in 3 again.
Yeah.
23 car out of Fair Oaks, Indiana. Dan Hamstra behind the wheel, and the opening night victory went to the 8 car out there, Leo Burkhartsmeyer out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Here they come as Hewitt jumped to the high side. The Wheelman off of 4 down the front chute. John Wheeler works that inside. Jack Hewitt back up on his favorite high side down the back chute. John Wheeler, Jack Hewitt doing a giddy up now in that high groove. Hewitt on the move, momentum off of 4. Wheeler comes to the inside. Hewitt in a high groove down the front chute. Wheeler Wheeler, Hewitt, Rick Stye, and Lee Hobbs. Hobbs on the bubble. Stye now, working on Hewitt. Down the back chute now. 4-car freight train, 5 cars into turn number 3. John Wheeler, Hewitt, Stye, Lee Hobbs, and Carsano. Here they come. 4 laps down, 4 laps completed, 4 to go. 4 down, 4 to go. John Wheeler. Wheeler drops to the inside of 4. A smooth drive off of 4 for Wheeler. Down the front chute, Jack Hewitt, Rick Stye, and Lee Hobbs. A battle looks like developing for the bubble spot as Carsano up on the back bumper of the 4th place Hobbs car and Leo Burkhartschmeyer. 2 laps to go. 6 down, 2 laps remaining for Wheeler. The battle off to the inside of 2 now. Leo Burkhartschmeyer on the move in that 8 car alongside of Hobbs. The battle for the 4th spot, and here they come. White flag lap for Wheeler. White flag lap for Wheeler. Hewitt 2nd, Stye 3rd, and they race side by side. Burkhartschmeyer on the bubble now. Hobbs falls back to the 2nd spot. He desperately fights to the inside to battle for that 4th and final spot. Here comes your lead car out of Campbellsville, Kentucky. John Wheeler, Jack Hewitt 2nd. 3rd will go to Stye in a bubble spot. Leo Burkhartschmeyer. My, oh my. Well, Leo's been kind of quiet since the opening night victory, but I tell you, the 8 car fired back up there, and he found some for that final transfer spot. 72 again. 60 late models. 60 late models this evening. My goodness. We're about to go green to modified. E2, 8 laps. Top 4 transfer. Here they come. Darren T gets a good run off of 2. Drops to the inside. The newcomer to the 72. A Neuheiser out of Panama City. Rolls him down. Neuheiser drops to the inside. Racing side by side for the lead. T pushes out on a high side of 3. Neuheiser drops to the inside. Leads him down the front chute. Todd Neuhauser out of Panama City, Florida, your leader down the back chute. Darren T in that 2nd spot. Running 3rd is the car number 88, the other new car. I believe that is Barry Jacobs. Barry Jacobs, another new car this evening, the 05 car, as Tony Anderson. So we got several of the new cars running towards the front here, Lynn. In this modified E-Race number 2, and I tell you, this gentleman out of Panama City is really doing a giddy-up on this field.
Yeah, he's...
I'm on board, an exciting division to run. They run here all week long through next Saturday night, every race night. And back to green now as the man from Panama City on the fly, Todd Neuhauser. Here he comes off of 4. Neuhauser once again jumps out the lead now. T trying to hold the inside line. Jacobs, the newcomer out of Ohio, rockets up in that 2nd spot. That's Barry Jacobs out of Mount Vernon, Ohio, now taking over 2nd. We got quite a battle back there between Drake and the Anderson 05 car for the 4th spot. And once again, it looks like it's going to be a battle for that 4th and final transfer spot. Scott Drake, who has a feature win and several top 5 finishes, right now with his hands full, racing off the back chute into 3. Here comes your lead car. Neuhauser out of Panama City leads him down the front chute. Barry Jacobs, Darren T, and the Drake 12 car. Scott Drake sets the car to the outside, gives chase to the T car trying to go for 3rd. Uh-oh, look up there in front now. The Jacobs 88 car right on the back bumper. Nyhauser 2 laps to go, race fans. 2 laps remaining. Nyhauser hangs on Jacobs right on his back bumper. As they race into turn number 3, it'll be the white flag lap. Jacobs sets on the high side, makes it stick, takes a run off of 4, white flag lap. Drake also using a high groove, going for the third spot. T hangs on to the inside. Look at it on the back chute, Jacobs. Jacobs using a high groove to the high side, side by side. Nyhauser back to the inside. The drag race. Nyhauser takes a win. Jacobs second, Scott Drake and Darren T. Well, what a run for the win there down the back chute, Lynn, I tell you. So we got Darren T and the Drake 12 car. Jacobs with an outstanding attempt to take that one, and your winner out of Panama City, Florida, Todd Nyhauser. Parker pulling double duty in that Dirtworks car number 10. Then we have the W2 car, Tommy Walden out of Richmond, Kentucky. On the outside of him, it looks like it is the James Mills 45 car. And then the car number 16, Sean Negengard out of Osgood, Indiana. And the 21 not making the call, the green flag drops. Race time. Scott May side by side with Jeff Linka. 2 Illinois guys battle it out down the back chute. Jeff Linka, the track champion at the Macon Speedway in the modifieds and the late model. Linka leads May off of 4. Scott Martin in a solid third run. We got a battle back in the middle of the pack as Ed Carley, right off the trailer from New York, trying to hold on to 4th. Collins goes to the inside. Pete Parker up against the rail. Collins up in 4th. Jeff Linka in a Parts Plus 3 car down the back chute. Stretches it out on Scott May. Martin at Freight Train to top 3. Now Terry Collins out of Ellsbury, Missouri in that 4th spot, and here they come. It's like, I think, oh, Pete Parker, smoke rolling off the Dirtworks 10 car. My, oh my. Now it looks like Ed Carley has some break or a tire down on the 35. Right now, Jeff Linka doing a giddy up right now. Scott May hanging on to second, Martin and Terry Collins, and we got the yellow flag. Well, Pete Parker, a little smoke rolling out of the back of that 10 car. We had talked, but I didn't know. He's also got a new late model out in the pit area, that 14 car, and Richie Hendrick, who piloted the 14 car out of Champagne's got a late model there. So we got several guys doing double duty, and we're back to green, and here they come, the modified. Well, it's a little tighter this time, off of 2. We'll get a lap count for you. 4 laps down, I believe. 4 laps remaining. Jeff Linka out of Buffalo, Illinois, off of 4. Flag on the Speedway. 5 heat races. I assume we'll come back with 2 consies. Consies are like features in themselves, with extended to 20-plus cars with 2 positions to be filled. We're back to racing green as Jeff Linka, Scott May, and Martin bring them off of 4. Battle shaping up now. Ronnie Joe Perrine out of Ohio takes that bubble spot from Terry Collins. And he's up in a transfer position. You can bet Collins is going to come back and fight for that. Perrine is on the move. Collins has now switched to the high groove. They race for position off of 4. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go, and the 4th spot is getting tight, Lynn. Look out.
That's a heck of a battle for fourth there. About 4 cars trying to be in the 4th position, and now there's 3 of them trying to be second.
It's getting a little scary up there as they come off of 4 down the front chute for the Linka, Ronnie Joe Green, Scott May, and Martin. My, oh my.
It's still not decided. About a half a lap to go. There they go.
Well, they come down the back chute now. Linka, this time by with a bigger lead, Ronnie Joe Perrine, the checkered flag for Linka, Perrine, May, and Martin. My goodness. Well, we talked about it ever since Wednesday night. There is no easy ones here at Volusia Speedway Park in this division this year. We got Martin, May, Perrine, and here comes your winner, racing out of Buffalo, Illinois, the Parch Plus 3 car, Jeff Linka. Help get some of the late model information. You know, there's a big parking lot down over the hill by the lake. I didn't know that until I looked out over there. There were a bunch of haulers down in that. We've got them packed in here quite tightly. Well, look at this. Well, we race off to the inside of 1 and down the back chute, Bill Davis. Bill Davis rockets out the lead. Chris Larson out of Keokuk, Iowa in that 2nd spot. Robert Root and Joran Boyce has the car up in 4th with 671. Bill Davis again picks up where he's left off every evening in that Buzzard 71 car as he rockets out the commanding lead here after several laps. Davis, Chris Larson out of Keokuk, Iowa, Root out of Wisconsin, and the Dakota driver, Joran Boyce, but on the move with the 03 car, Chuck Waddell out of Ohio. Bill Davis really ripping this field apart, Lynn. Look at that 71 car. My, oh my. Davis with a commanding lead as he rockets down the back chute. The 2nd spot car out in front quite a ways, Chris Larson. Now, Joran Boyce rockets to the outside of Root, taking the 3rd spot. There's 4 down, 4 laps to go. 4 laps scored, 4 to go. The race on the Speedway now for the 4th position. 3rd and 4th as Boyce now pulls out into solid 3rd place. Robert Root settling for the bubble spot. Waddell and Tom Seitz trying to reel him in. Bill Davis out of Chesterton, Indiana, in the 3 by a straightaway. My goodness. Joran Boyce now motors up on the tail of the Larson car. 2 laps remaining. The modified heat number 4. Bill Davis by almost a half a speedway. This is absolutely amazing. Davis down the front chute, white flag. Joran Boyce in a solid 2nd right now. Chris Larson, Robert Root. Well, here he comes. He could coast in from the back straightaway out of Chesterton, Indiana, driving the Harding Seat Service, the Buzzard Chassis 71. Bill Davis, Joran Boyce, Larson, and Robert Root. Well, then Robert Root has got the final spot out of Bossier City, Louisiana, and he'll pick it up off to the inside of 3 now. Here they come, the modified. Well, out the early lead, and Hamstra rockets to the inside. Damn Hamstra, I'm sure, is disgusted with himself last night. trying to make that move to get that last spot and got himself out of shape and didn't make the feature. Here he comes. And Hamster got a push that time into one. Hamster with a bad push to 23 car. Shaw rockets back to the inside, but here comes Hamster storming back. Weldon Staton a 77 car. And look at Tommy Burnside in just one lap. My goodness, Burnside from all the way to the back of the field. Tommy Burnside was back in the 11th position. And we got the yellow flag out here. We got a car setting down in turn number on the bottom side of 3. Eisenberg bringing out the car. Did push badly there on that one lap going into 1. All right, here we go, back to green. Don Shaw out of Minnesota. Weldon Stat and Tommy Burnside. That car has been very strong. They race down the back, shoot Shaw. Look at Weldon Stat in that Dirtworks 77 car. Mike Weldonstadt jumps to the high side. We got a 3-car shootout for the lead off of 4. Here they come. Shaw, Weldonstadt, Burnside. Hamster now. Wilson out of West Virginia. Up in that fist. Oh, look out. All right, lap count here. Looks like we have 3 laps scored with 5 remaining. The new leader, Weldonstadt, jumps, takes the lead. Shaw drops that 2nd spot. Burnside back in the 3rd spot. Wilson in the bubble spot at the end of 3. Weldonstadt, Shaw, Burnside, and the Wilson 20 car. 4 down, 4 to go. Weldonstadt and that Dirtworks 77 down the back chute as he stretches out the lead. Into turn 3, Mike Weldonstadt out of Lou London, Wisconsin. Burnside works to the inside of the 42 car. They get a little out of shape, gather back in, off of 4 now, almost side by side. My goodness. And there goes Wilson. Wilson rockets the high side. We have a little bit of racing and rubbing off of 4 that time. Between the 2nd and 3rd place car, they race down the back chute. Weldonstadt likes that. He increased the lead off of 4. He comes. Out of New London, Wisconsin, 2 laps to go, Weldonstadt. Don Shaw, Mike Wilson, and Burnside. Now being pressed by the 12 car. Off to the inside of 3, white flag is timed by Michael Weldonstadt. Shaw with a handful of Wilson off of 4. Weldonstadt, big commanding lead. Wilson takes the 2nd spot off the inside of 3. Weldonstadt, your winner. The race for 2nd off of 4, and it's Wilson. Shaw, 4th spot, goes to Tommy Burnside. Well, that last lap collected a couple of the cars towards the rear up there against the wall, and 3 and 4 will need a wrecker or something for them. Tommy Burnside in the bubble transfer spot.
Ready to go racing. Here they come. Around turn number 3, around the horn at turn number 4, the number 11, Robbie Blair puts a hammer down. Green flag flies, and we're off and running. It's Robbie Blair. Blair in the 11. Then in 12J, Jason Smith in the second position down the back straightaway. New second car. Oh, trouble at turn number 3. The 99 out of shape. He's going to save it. I can't believe that. Frank Heckendass not completely out of shape over at turn number 3. Saves the car. Still in the second position. Now the position is going to be taken away. Blair gets underneath. The leader, Robbie Blair in the 11. Brian Dunaway in the second slot of the number 91. Now the 5 has moved up to the third position. That's Ronnie Pouchet out of Nacogdoches, Louisiana. Up to the third slot. He started all the way back in the 5th row. Halfway point right here. 4 laps down, 4 to go. This race half over, and Robbie Blair leads the field down the back straightaway. In the second slot is the 91, Brian Dunaway out of Coral Park, Illinois, in the second position. In the third slot, the 5, Ronnie Pouchet, and the 99, Frank Heckendass, in the fourth position and final transfer spot. To go. Robbie Blair takes the field around. Blair in the 11. Down the back chute, Robbie Blair. White flag will come out this time around for Robbie Blair out of Titusville, Pennsylvania in the 11. Down the back chute, Blair in the 11. Nobody close. Here he comes through turn number 3. Robbie Blair. Checkered flag out. So there you have heat number 1 for the late model division, the UMP late models on the racetrack. And the winner is Robbie Blair out of Titusville, Pennsylvania, coming off the pole position.
Lynn, you want to keep your eye on maybe the 16 car, Tony Izzo Jr. out of Chicago. He was the national champion several years ago. He won a lot of features up at the LaSalle Speedway. Of course, that is where his family operates the LaSalle Speedway in Kankakee. He won several big races against some tough customers last year, but of course this is a tough field of late models.
No doubt about that. Some veterans in the group here, including Jack Boggs in this one out of Grayson, Kentucky. Of course, no stranger to this racetrack, and there's a green flag, and we're off and running. Tom Pauly in the 9 with the advantage from the pole position. Now round to turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. It's Pauly. Getting up to racing speed, dashing into turn number 3, Pauly in the 9. Steve Caseville in the C9. In the second slot, the 16, Tommy Izzo in the 16 is now in the third slot. And in the transfer position, Brandon Ball in the 32 as they come around. In the 6th position, looks down to the low side underneath the 27 as they come through turn number 1. Jerry Radensky in the 27R being challenged by Boggs in the B4. Pauly off the pace. Tom Pauly falls off the pace, and a new leader down the back straightaway. The 9C Steve Caseville grabs the lead. In the second position at the halfway point, the 16. Tony Izzo Jr. in the second position in the 16 behind Casebolt. Casebolt out of Richmond, Indiana is the leader. In the third position, the 32, Brandon Ball. Radetzky running in 4th position in that final transfer spot, but here comes Jack Boggs racing around the outside, but the caution light has come on, and so that pass will not count. Down the back chute, Case Bolt puts a hammer down, and we're off and running. Here comes a 32 looking to the inside. It's Brandon Ball with a 32. Coming to the outside, Jack Boggs in the B4. A race for the transfer spot now, and Boggs has it. Jack Boggs in the B4 in the 4th position. Now he's challenging Ball for the 3rd slot as we get to 2 laps to go. This one's not over. Jack Boggs working hard to hang on to that 4th position so he can transfer up to the A main. And right behind him, Jerry Radetzky in the 27, and he's not wanting to give it up. And here's a white flag, and it's one more time around. Radetzky to the inside. He's got Boggs down the front chute. Jack Boggs has to do it again. Meanwhile, up front, the 16, Tony Izzo Jr. has gotten around Steve Casebolt, and here they come. Off turn number 4 to the checkered flag. Looks like one car may have blown an engine right at the end, and a streak of oil on the racetrack through turn number 4 and down the front chute. Here's the results of heat number 2. Tony Izzo Jr. out of Bridgeview, Illinois gets a win in a 16. Good. Coming down the back chute at a snail's pace through turn number 3. Still at a snail's pace. This will be an interesting start. Here they come off turn number 4, and a green flag flies, and we're racing. Probably will go down in history as the most interesting start for tonight anyway. And it worked. Jerry Inman's got about a 5-car advantage. Inman in the D7 is a leader down the back straightaway. Jerry Inman out of Bruce, Mississippi, leading this race. Pick them up as they come underneath this time. Terry English in the 3rd position. The 2nd position in the 3rd slot is Steve Barnett in the 89. And on the transfer spot, the 5, Ronnie Johnson. Johnson in the 5. But he's going to have company soon. Johnson in the 5, but Billy Moyer's right behind him in the 21 as they make their way down the back straightaway. Moyer in the 21 running in the 5th position. Uh-oh, trouble up in front. The 111 out of shape. Moyer to the inside, and Johnson, they race wheel to wheel as they go into turn number 1, and Moyer will have the advantage as they come out in turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. It's Billy Moyer in the 21 now on the bubble. The final transfer spot held by Billy Moyer. Terry English in 4th, in 3rd, on up in 2nd position. The 89 is Steve Barnett, and the leader is Jerry Inman in the D7. Wendell Wallace trying to come forward with the 6. Wallace now in the 5th position. Trying to move up there, and now closing in on the leader, the 89, Steve Barnett. Barnett challenging for the lead as they head into turn number 1. Jerry Inman in the D7 and Barnett down the back chute with a white flag flying. Here they come through turn number 3. Inman with the advantage. To the inside, it'll be Inman. down the back straightaway. It's Tommy Surratt out of Little Rock, Arkansas in the 27S, taking the field through turn number 3. Dick Quastrom on the flying stand, set to give him the green. Here they come around the horn to turn number 4. Up on the throttles, up through the gearboxes. Here they go. Down the front straightaway, Tommy Surratt in the 27S with the advantage into turn number 1. But here comes the 11. That'll be the 11G, Kevin Gundecker. Out on the low side, out of St. Louis, Missouri. This guy is no stranger to anybody around these parts, and look at this race. We might want to keep our eye on Rick Auckland, too, I guess. In the 12, he's trying to get on the move. Look at that, he's pretty quick. Auckland has moved up to 6th. Challenging for 5th. Rick Auckland is 5th. Pete Parker right in front of him in the 10. I couldn't see what happened as they come out. It's Parker on the bubble in the 10. Auckland high on the racetrack with the 12. Rick Auckland building up some momentum coming off the 4th corner just to see what he could do there. The leader, Kevin Gundecker, then it's the 27, Tommy Surratt in the 2nd position using the top of the racetrack. In the 3rd slot, the 27 is the other 27, the 27T, Ray Tucker. The red 27 is Ray Tucker. Out of Greensburg, North Carolina, he's in the 3rd position, and Pete Parker's on the bubble in the 10. Rick Auckland out of the back of the pack, now in the 5th slot, trying to challenge Pete Parker. He's got him in his sights, but he can't quite reel him in, and here they come through turn number 3. A 2-lap signal is up. 2 more times around. There are 6 laps down and 2 to go. Down the back chute, Gundecker sets the pace in the 11. The 27, the red 27 now 2nd. That's Ray Tucker, who moves into the 2nd slot as the white flag is displayed. Tommy Surratt in the 27S in the 3rd position, and Pete Parker is still hanging on to that 4th and final transfer spot. Here they come off turn number 4. Wisconsin. 5th row inside 57 is Tony Vanderveen out of Edmore, Michigan. The 166, Joey Izzo out of LaSalle, Illinois. And George Shepler in the 10S out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. And Tony Stewart in the 1 from Rushville, Indiana. There's a green. And we're off and running. Scott Martin in the 14 grabs the advantage as they head down the back straightaway. It's a 14. In the 2nd slot, the 64, Larry Hearn. And that's a no start, I believe, isn't it? Or not? No, I guess not. That's a start. Boy, they're mixing it up in the back of the pack. Everybody trying to get up there to that 4th position. Larry Hearn in 64 running in the 2nd position, but boy, he's got some trouble right behind. Here comes Stewart in the 1. Tony Stewart in the 1st late model, the 1ST. Stewart down the back straightaway. Here he comes trying to get into the 2nd slot, and he's down on the low side, got the nose in underneath the 64, Larry Hearn, and he's going to take 2nd. Scott Martin in the 14 up front, down the back straightaway. It's Martin leading the race, followed by Tony Stewart. Stewart pretty fast. He's really getting around there. Very, very fast. Contact here on the front straightaway. The 64 and the 8 cars get together. Now they battle side by side as they head down the back straightaway. It's still a 64 in the 3rd position. Larry Hearn, and then the 8, Andy Pettyjohn. And there's a new leader. Forcing Scott Martin to the outside. Tony Stewart out of Rushville, Indiana, brings the 1 car, the 1ST, all the way forward, and a checkered flag coming out this time by for Tony Stewart in the 1. 21 cars scheduled to go in this one. Here they come. Dick Quanstrom set to give him the green as James Dean brings him around through turn number 3, around to turn number 4. Green flag flies. We're off and running. Only the top 2 will move up, and Jack Boggs wants to be one of them. He's on the outside, pulling down the back straightaway. He's in a battle with James Dean. Dean shoots into turn number 3 and grabs the lead away from Boggs. Uh-oh, trouble over there. Cars mixed up high on the racetrack. 1 car. Everybody will get by. And the caution is out. Little contact made him backed up against the front chute wall here. Started to say restarted, but it hasn't been started, so we're ready. This is the consolation number 1 for the UMP late models. Here they come through turn number 3. James Dean out of Chunky, Mississippi. We'll fire them up as they come to turn number 4. There's a green flag, and we're off and running. Jack Boggs trying to the outside, down on the low side, James Dean. Boggs is going to get past once again as he can't quite get the grip high on the racetrack. And into turn number 3, it's James Dean who has the advantage as they come around for the first lap. Jack Boggs in the 2nd slot. And that is the final transfer position. Only those 2 will move up. Boggs racing with Dean. He'd like to get around him. James Dean in the 16 up front. Jack Boggs on the bubble. Eddie Pettyjohn in the 8 running in the 3rd slot down the back chute. It's James Dean in the Chunky, Mississippi late model number 16, leading Jack Boggs out of Grayson, Kentucky. Down on the low side, a car into the pit area. That's the 12. And that is Tony Satterfield's 12. Satterfield out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Tony Satterfield into the pits. Eddie Pettyjohn in the 8, running in the 2nd position out of Milton, Delaware. James Dean with the lead. Here he comes off turn number 4. Jack Boggs solidly in the 2nd position. Boggs in the B4, running 2nd. The 8 car slides a little high at turn number 3, but he gets it back under control. Eddie Pettyjohn in the 8. The other 8 getting into the position is Steve Yoder in the black 8 car. Yoder out of Toledo, Ohio, running in the 5th position. James Dean in the 16 off turn number 4. 8 laps down, 4 to go. 4 laps remaining. Jack Boggs running 2nd in the B4. Nobody close. James Dean closes in on a little bit of traffic. The 2 in front. Dean trying to get around the 2. Steve Cornelius in the 2. Steve Cornelius finally pulls up on the racetrack and lets Dean come by, and Jack Boggs will get under him fairly easily. White flag out this time by. White flag out for James Dean. One more time around for Dean. And Jack Boggs in the B4. Traffic in front as they come to turn number 4. Boggs closes a gap as they head up to the start-finish line. It'll be James Dean and Jack Boggs. Turn number 4, Wendell Wallace set to put the hammer down. They come up through the gearbox as the hammers come down. A green flag flies, and we're off and running. Wendell Wallace with the advantage off the pole position as they make their way through turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. In the 2nd position is Tom Pauley in the 9. Rick Auckland high on the racetrack in the 12, not where he wants to be. Pauley solidly in the 2nd slot. Auckland high on the racetrack, and we got a car up against the wall here on the front straightaway, right underneath the caution light. Might be for the big feature event tonight. Pauley in the 9 in the 2nd position. Here they go down the back chute. Green flag flies, and we're off and running. Oh, look at here. Ronnie Johnson moves into the 2nd slot. Ronnie Johnson. Johnson challenging for the lead as they head into turn number 3. Johnson down on the low side of the 5. Here they come, wheel to wheel out of turn number 4, side by side, getting in the act. The 28. That's Jimmy Mars in the 28, running into 3rd position and challenging. Down the back chute, Johnson has the advantage in the car number 5. Ronnie Johnson up front out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wendell Wallace is 2nd. Jimmy Mars in the 28. Running in the 3rd slot, looking pretty strong down the back straightaway. Wendell Wallace keeps the gap close, and now he goes to the low side as they come to turn number 3. He's got the nose in. He can't quite do it. Ronnie Johnson holds on for the lead. Wallace would like to get in front of Johnson, and he tries him in turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, Wallace backs off about 3 car lengths, and they head into turn number 3, and Wendell Wallace will take another shot at Ronnie Johnson as they come to turn 4. Johnson in the 5, Wallace in the 6M. Wallace is on the bubble. On back is Jimmy Mars in the 28M in the 3rd position, but now a pretty good gap opens up between the 2nd and the 3rd place cars. Rick Auckland off the pace on the top of turn number 2 with the 12. Auckland appears to be headed for his pits, and that's going to be all for Fargo, North Dakota native Rick Auckland. Auckland in the 12 will not make the A main tonight. Ronnie Johnson up front in the 5. Then it's Wendell Wallace in the 6M. Jimmy Mars running in the 3rd slot as the laps dwindle down. Jimmy Mars trying to close the gap. Really working hard. Slings his car into turn number 1. Jimmy Mars trying to get back up there with the leaders. Now a slower car in front as they come to turn number 3, and Mars will close the gap as they come to the 4th corner. Jimmy Mars makes up about 5 car lengths right there. 9 laps down, 3 to go down the back chute. The leader, Ronnie Johnson, Chattanooga, Tennessee driver in the lead, and Johnson is followed by Wendell Wallace out of Batesville, Arkansas. Desperately trying to get up there in the hunt. Jimmy Mars, Elk Mound, Wisconsin driver in the 28. Here's a white flag one more time around. Trouble over at turn number 2, but the leader gets through there down the back chute, Ronnie Johnson. And here they come off turn number 4. Johnson in the 5 and Wendell Wallace in the 6. A white flag lap over, and here they come one more time around. Ronnie Johnson in the 5 around to turn number 3. There's a challenge for 2nd. Who's it going to be? Off turn number 4, Wendell Wallace will be 2nd.
Scott May on the move. May rockets up and forth to the inside of 3. Scooter May has the 40 up in the 4th spot. Drake on the move in a 12 car. Scott Drake also taking a run on the field. Drake now is up in 6th. The Wheelman really spanking the field off of 4. Jeff Linga still holding off the Jack Hewitt 88 car. Scott May in a solid 4th. They race down the back chute. 5th still belonging to the Nieheiser 72 car. Drake trying to reel him in. Here comes the Wheelman down the front chute. Wheeler. Jeff Linga hanging on. Hewitt. Scott May now up to try to join that 3-car race for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. Hewitt tries to make it go high. Linga running the inside. They come off of 4. And there goes May trying to lean on Hewitt. Campbell. May. Hewitt. Quite a battle for 3rd, and Scott May up in that 3rd spot in the 40 car. Here comes the Wheelman out of Kentucky. Jeff Linka, Scott May, and Jack Hewitt. Scott Drake now trying to go for the 5th spot against Nieheiser. Has it. Scott Drake on the move, the 5 car. 5th spot. John Wheeler with a straightaway on the field. Linka and May locked up in a battle. 2nd and 3rd down the front. Wheeler on a mission in that car number 2. Wheeler off to the inside of 3 now. May and Linka in a battle. May looks to the inside, goes back high. Linka, and here comes Hewitt in that 4th spot. Wheeler by a straightaway. Boy, oh boy, is John Wheeler whipping the tar out of this field tonight. My, oh my. Wheeler down the front chute. Scott May now has the second position. May up in second. May, Linka, and the 88 of Hewitt fourth. Scott Drake running fifth. John Wheeler off to the inside of 4. 16 down, 9 to go, 16 down. May, Linka, Hewitt, and Scott Drake. Racing back in the middle of the pack now. Nieheiser trying to hold off the 20 car. Wilson back there for the 5th spot. Scott May in second. Boy, a battle now between Lincoln and Hewitt for the 3rd and 4th position. Scott Drake in 5th. Nieheiser now hanging on to 6th. Wilson breathing on him. The 88 car up there in the hunt also. That is driven by Barry Jacobs out of Ohio. The Wheelman rockets into 1. Look out. Scott May trying to reel him in. Jeff Linka and the 88 of Jack Hewitt running 3rd. Drake now taking a run on the Hewitt and the Linka car. Here comes John Wheeler off of 4. Wheeler down the front chute. Scott May in a solid second. We got a battle back here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Linka, Hewitt, and Scott Drake. Laps scored, 5 laps to go, 5 laps to go, this time by. Nose to tail for 3rd. There goes Hewitt. Hewitt takes a pass to the high side, takes the 3rd spot. Racing off into Jack Hewitt. Wheeler with the lead. May, oh, look out over in turn 3. My, oh my. Hewitt out of shape in the 88 car. Jack Hewitt out of shape, lost position. That puts Linka back in the 3rd spot. Scott Drake running 4th. Wheeler in the meantime. Mays reeled him in. Nieheiser now back up in the 5th spot. Mike Wilson 6th. Oh, spin at 3. Look out. Uh-oh, he wheeled her back in. Gathered her back up, the 88. Wheelman out of Campbellsville, Kentucky, brings it off of 4. John Wheeler, John Wheeler. John Wheeler bringing it off of 4. Here he comes, down the front shed, into turn 3. Off of 4 he comes, your winner, the Wheelman, John Wheeler, Scott May 2nd. Drake in the battle for 5th. Nieheiser. Nieheiser in a 5 car, picking up the 5th spot. 4th goes to Scott Drake in the 12 car. 3rd will go to Jeff Linka, the 2nd spot, to Scott Scooter May in a 40 car, and picking up your win out of Campbellsville, Kentucky, the Lightning, car number 02, the Wheelman, John Wheeler.
Robbie Blair in the 11 out of Titusville, Pennsylvania, on the pole position of this one. Tony Izzo Jr. out of Bridgeville, Illinois, in the 16, track champion over there. I tell you, they got a beautiful racetrack where those folks are from, up in the Kankakee area. In Illinois, Tony Izzo Jr. in the 16 starts on the outside pole. Second rows, Jerry Inman and Kevin Gundecker. Gundecker's always tough here. Here they come around turn number 3, around at turn number 4. There's a green flag, and we're off and running. From the outside, Izzo in the 16. Tony Izzo has the advantage coming from the outside pole position. Got a good jump on Robbie Blair and grabbed the lead. Blair fades back to 4th position. As we work our way back to the flag stand, we get 1 complete lap in. Let's see if we do. Hopefully. Well, Frank Heckenast with the car number 99 has spun down at turn number 4, and the caution has not come out, and he's on the move once again, but now the caution is displayed. Tony Izzo Jr. in the 16 from Bridgeview, Illinois. You can see the bridge over the Kankakee River from there, I guess, right at Bridgeview. Here they come around at turn number 4. A green flag flies, and we're at it. Look at this. There's Inman looking at the inside. Jerry Inman in the D7 has his sights set on Tony Izzo Jr. in the 16. Izzo skates a little bit as he comes through turn number 3. Jack Boggs started in the back row in the B4. Now he's almost halfway up through the field. Keeping your eye on the B4 car. Down the back straightaway. And still Tony Izzo Jr. in the 16. There's racing all over the racetrack. But Jerry Inman in the D7 is comfortable sitting in the second position. Ronnie Johnson getting on the move in the car number 5 towards the back of the pack. Johnson in the 5 car trying to move up through the field. Billy Moyer in the 21 about midway through the pack. Moyer started in the 18th position with a 21, and he's battling his way around the racetrack. Billy Moyer in the 21 car. Tony Izzo Jr. up front in the 16. Then it's Inman in the D7, Gundecker in the 11, running in the 3rd position. Tony Izzo Jr. off turn number 4. Gundecker is 3rd, Stewart 4th, Blair 5th, and Moyer is getting on the move. Billy Moyer. Ronnie Johnson has moved up through the field. Johnson started all the way back in 22nd, and now he is up to 9th position. Johnson and Moyer around the 89. Ronnie Johnson and Billy Moyer working together, trying to get up to the front of the group. Barnett in the 89 may have been touched by either Moyer, and he's off at the pace with the 89 car. Steve Barnett down the front straightaway. I think he has a tire trying to equalize. Whoa! Barnett taking up a lot of racetrack as he went into turn number 1, running at a very, very slow pace, and he almost gets tagged from behind. Moyer trying to head for the front of the 21. Ronnie Johnson in the 5 also working on coming forward. Tony Izzo with about a half a straightaway lead over the 2nd position car, Jerry Inman. Izzo's in turn number 3. Inman just approaching the 3rd turn. Tony Izzo Jr. in the 16. 14 laps down, almost to the halfway point. Halfway coming up this time by. This race will be half over. across double bananas to the leader, the halfway point right here. 16 has gone 15 laps. 15 times around and 15 to go. Heckendass in the 99 up on the top of the racetrack over at turn number 2, and he's going to turn right and go up into the outfield. Heckendass off the racetrack with a 99. A real battle shaping up in the middle of the pack. Ronnie Johnson working with Robbie Blair back there. Blair in the 11, Johnson in the 5. Izzo with a complete straightaway lead over the D7, Jerry Inman. Inman running second. Then it's Kevin Gundecker in the 11. Tony Stewart in the 1ST in the 4th position. Here comes Billy Moyer trying to come forward side by side with Tony Stewart. That's a battle for the 4th position. Here they come off turn number 4. Moyer in the 21. He started in the 22nd position, and now he is really on the move. Moyer going to the outside, decides, well, why not? I can't do it inside, we'll go outside. Here comes Moyer around the outside with a 21 car. Moyer looks to the inside. Stewart in the 1S puts some pressure on, pushes Gundecker and Stewart down the back and into turn number 3. Stewart trying to hold off the charging Billy Moyer, and Jack Boggs is now right behind him, and then there's Ronnie Johnson. Moyer looks to the inside of Stewart at turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Now he goes to the top side as they come into turn number 3. Out of turn 4, it's Stewart, and Boggs goes to the inside, and he's going to pass Moyer on the front straightaway. Jack Boggs is on the move. Jack Boggs figured it right, no question about that, and Boggs and Moyer battling with each other. Now Moyer gets back in front of Boggs, and Boggs and Moyer battle. That's a battle for the 5th position. Down the back chute, Jerry Inman pulls away with a D7. Kevin Gundecker in the 3rd slot, followed by Stewart in the 4th position. Then it's Moyer 5th. And Jack Boggs 6th in the B4, followed by Ronnie Johnson in the 5. Johnson comes together with the red 21. Here's Moyer around Stewart. Now Boggs around Stewart. Billy Moyer gets around and Jack Boggs follows him. They kick Stewart to the top of turn number 1, and now they're going after Kevin Gundecker, and here comes Moyer, and boy, now he's flying. Look at this guy go here. There are 4 laps to go, making 5 laps to go, and Moyer is now on the move. Billy Moyer going after Jerry Inman. Inman is 2nd, Moyer now 3rd. Gundecker 4th, and Boggs is 5th. Moyer trying to be 2nd. Tony Izzo Jr. in a 16, a complete straightaway lead over the leaders. And look at this is a battle for 2nd coming off of the 4th turn. The 0 car in front. What's going to happen here? Oh, what a move by Moyer. Moyer moves into the 2nd position as he kicks the 0 car. Richie Hedrick completely up into turn number 1, but trouble has developed over at the 4th corner. A couple of cars damaged and standing in the 4th turn. Caution on the racetrack. Looked like there might have been 3 cars total involved. To field around through turn number 1 and the beautiful car number 16 around to turn number 2 down the back straightaway. They'll fire up on the back chute. They come up to racing speed as they head full throttle into turn number 3. Here comes Moyer looking around the outside of Inman as they come to turn number 4. There he is on the outside challenging Moyer down the front straightaway. Does he have him? Not quite. Wheel to wheel. Now Inman to the inside of Izzo as they head up into turn number 2. Izzo gets on the binders, backs him up, And now Moyer in the 21 comes to the outside. Jack Boggs on the inside, Kevin Gundecker down low. Here comes Moyer around the outside of the 21. Tony Izzo Jr. in the 16. Moyer will be ready for him this time. Does he go to the outside? Yeah, he does, but he doesn't have enough momentum built up, and we've got a race for the lead coming out of turn number 3 and around at turn number 4 as Tony Izzo Jr. 2 laps to go. Turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. Izzo giving it everything he's got as he comes around. He'll look at a white flag when they come off at turn number 4. Here comes Moyer looking to the outside. Boggs challenging for third. Here he comes. He will be third. White flag waves. Jack Boggs is in the hunt. Can he get him down? And I don't think he can get there. They go through turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. It's still Izzo. Moyer trying to figure out what he's got to do. He goes to the outside, tries it there. Will he shoot to the low side? Izzo's first. Who's coming underneath this? Boggs. Boggs and Moyer. And the checkered flag comes out. And Tony Izzo Jr. gets the win. Billy Moyer will be second with Jack Boggs charging all the way from position 23 to 3. At the checkered flag. Here he is coming out of the car. Give him a nice round of applause, everybody. Tony Izzo Jr.